Right then. So this has come as a bit of a surprise. 2 weeks to the start of the new season, how surprised are you to find yourself as head coach of Huddersfield Town?
Yeah, I think just as surprised as anyone else from the successes we had last season, and then me to be announced sort of as the head coach after Carlos resigned were a bit massive shock.
Did you have any inkling that he was considering whether maybe his time at the club was coming to an end?
No, not really. We reflected straight after the final of last season, and then everyone just went off on their holidays and spent time with the families. Pre-season, we're prepared as normal, ready to go. And I think it was 4 or 5 days into pre-season when it all happened.
Did he ring you and let you know what he was going to do?
Yeah, there was dialogue between both of us, and sorry, there wasn't. No, I didn't know until he actually resigned, but there was sort of text messages to prepare pre-season before.
And then when the news came, we spoke to him subsequently. How did that conversation go?
I've not spoke to him since he's left, so I think Carlos will probably be reflecting on the season and the successes he had, and then preparing for his next journeys.
From what Lee Bromby, head of operations, told us, that it was always in the plans that you ultimately would be the next person in line, but did you expect it to come quite as quickly as it has done?
No, not really. It's not something I've ever sort of set my goal to be a head coach of a football club. I've loved coaching young players, academy players, then transitioning to being assistant first team players. But when I returned to Huddersfield, it was almost something that potentially could happen. But yeah, it weren't to happen this soon. I think there were maybe a 3-4 year plan for me to progress, but yeah, certainly not this quick.
And the fact that it has come early, are you ready?
Yeah, I think so. I think the journey I've been on's been very interesting. Worked with some great coaches, worked with some really good players who have progressed and developed. And yeah, I think a role like this, do you ever feel ready? I'm not too sure, but I think as a coach, I've got my own ideas, learnt from a lot of people, and it's just a case of implementing that now and working with lots of different staff from all the different disciplines to try and continue what we did last season.
We understand that there was some interest from Europe, clubs that thought about asking you to go abroad. How serious were any of those offers? Was it something you ever seriously considered before this happened?
I'm somebody who really likes a challenge, so I did have an offer from a club in Europe. The contract was offered. I've got really good relationships with Lee Bromby in particular, so we're very open and honest, and we discuss things, and I decided that it would be better for me to stay here and keep progressing.
Can you tell us who it was? Or a country, at least. Let's narrow it down.
The country was Belgium.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
Belgium.
And would that have been something that tempted you?
It was very interesting. Yeah, I spoke to the people there, and it was a very exciting project, and it was a project where I could go and coach and implement my own ideas. And I love coaching. I love helping players to develop and maximise their potential. That's where I get my buzz. So yeah, the opportunity now is to do that at Huddersfield as head coach, and my focus is on here. So
you are now the man at the top of the tree, and clearly you are your own man. You know, fair enough. There's a succession plan. You know, the club had intended you to take that step, but how do you think you'll maybe do things differently?
Yeah, I think there's always been processes here at the club in terms of the different areas with the sports science, the physio, the analysis, and I've been a big part of working in that process. There is things I will tweak, I will add, sessions will be different, things will look slightly different, but it's always about reflecting on things. So what's gone well and why it's gone well, and what can we improve and how? And these are the two questions I constantly ask myself. So there's going to be certain areas we're going to play in a very similar style. We're going to be very attack focused, attack minded. But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Now you're the person who ultimately decides who gets in that first 11. You have to do the nice bit. You have to do the bit where players are going to be disappointed. Do you have to maybe distance yourself from the playing squad a little bit more now you're head coach?
I'm not too sure about distance. I think just having some key core principles and behaviours, now you sort of behave and treat people is the key to it all. So I'll be very honest. I'll be very open. I'll discuss things with the players, and the best players will play at the end of the day. The ones who are training the best, the ones who we feel as though can impact the game the best. And we've got a fantastic squad here. It's very competitive. Every training session's intense, so the competition for places is very high.
The perception will be that Carlos Corberán decided he'd taken this particular squad as far as he could. Why do you think there is still more to come from these players that you can at least match, if not better, what you achieved last season?
I think first and foremost, the players are very, very hungry, and them as people are very connected. I've said this before, I think, in interviews, that it's very unique, the connection these players have together, particularly in the modern world where you can isolate yourself with social media and things like this. But there is a real strong connection. And I think when you have that, it's the foundation to then build on the football, the tactical, the technical. So I think there's definitely more in this squad.
Yeah, do you feel like you need to prove almost that last season wasn't a fluke?
Well, I think if you look at previous teams in the Championship, they've had a certain sort of success and then really dropped off it the following season. Like I say, we've got a plan. There's processes in place to try and make us sustainable and have that success season after season. And that's going to be a challenge, but I think one we're all going to work hard to try and achieve.
Yeah, because the brutal kind of criticism is that Huddersfield will be a Barnsley, get to the playoffs, drop off, relegation. Why is that not going to be the case?
I think I've said it just about the people, the people here, the players first and foremost, and then the staff supporting them. I think a reason why this is relatively not easy, but relatively comfortable for me to come into this role is because I feel as though there's lots of support. There's lots of people wanting the same kind of thing. Huddersfield to be the best team they can be, the players to be the best players they can be. And I think when you have that around you, you get a feeling you probably can't describe. So I feel as though that's really strong at this football club.
At this time of year, inevitably, the focus is all on transfers. Who's staying, who's going? We have to ask inevitably about, some of the prize athletes, your Lewis O'Briens, your Harry Toffolo's. The big fear is that they will go, and then where does that leave you? Do you have to prepare this squad as though they are here, but also have in mind that they might well not be come the Burnley game?
Yeah, I think at the moment that's just all rumours. So the players I have on the training pitch, we're just training every single day. And like I said, the best players, the best performers will start against Burnley on the first game of the season. And
I appreciate it's unfair to talk about individuals specifically, but in terms of transfer business, does it suit you as the new head coach that whatever happens, it's done sooner rather than later? So at least then you know what you're working with.
Yeah, I think so. I think you always want to prepare your team the best you can. But like I said, it's just rumours, and the players we have in the building, the ones I'll prepare.
Jack Rudoni is a Huddersfield Town player. Tell us a bit about him.
Yeah, no, he's a fantastic player with lots of potential. I think he's someone who we've followed for a long time. We've done lots of analysis, in-depth analysis within meetings, collaboratively. We've all been a part of this process. And we're very excited to get Jack on the pitch and get him mixed in with the other lads.
Is he the new Lewis O'Brien?
I'm not too sure. We'll see. We'll see where he goes, but he's different to Lewis, but similar in other ways. And every player is unique, so we're excited to have Jack on board, and we'll start the coaching process.
As it stands, are you expecting many more incomings in the next couple of weeks?
I'm not too sure. I think there's always interest in other players if they can strengthen our squad. But at the moment, I'm really pleased with the players we've got. I think we're very competitive first and foremost, and they understand the principles from last season. So we're going to build on that.
You've got this huge affiliation with Huddersfield Town from way back when, arriving from, what was it, £2,000 and some new nets? Is that the case? Something like that?
A bag of balls and some nets, yeah, from Brodsworth Man as well. Yeah.
So
the good old days.
Huddersfield is intrinsic in your career. Does it help having that affiliation in that it buys you goodwill, it buys you time, or does it bring an extra level of pressure because you love it here and it matters whether you succeed or not?
Yeah, I think that's probably however I perceive it. I see it as first and foremost a fantastic opportunity for me at a football club which is very close to my heart and my family's, and I'm very excited by that. This club gave me opportunity to be a professional footballer. I'm just reminiscing there and thinking, but no, it's and now to be the head coach, it's a massive honour. and one I'm going to work very hard to try and make it a success, because I know these roles are very challenging. But like I said, we're going to work together. We're going to try and aim in one direction, and I'll be giving it everything because it is my club.
There's nowhere to hide, though, is there, in the Championship? Maybe in an ideal world, you start off a bit lower down, a bit less scrutiny.
Yeah, no, particularly this season as well, where we've got the November break and the games are crammed really close together. So it's going to be intense. We're going to be using a lot of the squad to fill these fixtures. But yeah, let's all jump on board and enjoy the ride.
That first day that you signed for Huddersfield Town, then, if somebody had tapped you on the shoulder and said, in X number of years, you will be head coach of this football club, would you believe them?
No, not at all. I think throughout my playing career, I didn't really think coaching was for me. I started off coaching the academies, and I think it took me 2 or 3 years to actually say, yeah, this is something I really enjoy. So that's been a journey on its own, not only the playing career, but also the coaching journey, to sort of work out where I want to go. And I think just one day the penny dropped and thought, yeah, this is something I really want to do.
Well, look, we wish you the best of luck. I'm sure
Thank you
we'll be
very
talking
much.
many times throughout the season, but best of luck with it all, Danny.
Okay, thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Guys on Zoom, just bear with us. We'll just check the room first. Chris, anything to add?
Yeah, I just want to ask, Danny, has there been any bids for Lewis or Harry, or are you aware of any interest in those players?
No, I'm not aware. As far as I'm aware, it's all just rumours at the moment. So yeah, I just focus on the coaching side of things, the talented football players. So if there is interest, I wouldn't be surprised, but it's just rumours at the moment.
Are you going to be involved heavily in transfer dealings yourself?
Yeah, I think this club, it's very collaborative. So we're always discussing with the sporting director, the head of recruitment, meetings with the owner, Dean. So we're all part of the process. Thank you.
Mark?
Just one, Danny, just to build a little bit on Catherine's, that Huddersfield overachieved so much last season with Carlos. Just how do you improve on that?
Yeah, I think it's building on the good things, the principles that were put into place. The players were really buying into some of the ideas. So it's a case of us trying to sort of first and foremost build on those good processes, and then add our own things to it to try and achieve better than we did last season. I think slight changes can always be a good thing. So there'll be certain things we do tweak, and hopefully that can carry us forward.
And surely, if Carlos did go because he felt he couldn't take the team any further, I mean that's some daunting prospect in your first job.
Yeah, I don't see it as that. I see life's very short. We're only here for a short amount of time. So my wife gave me the best bit of advice. She said, just make sure you enjoy it. That's what I'm tending on doing. But I know it's going to be relentless hard work, but I'm going to enjoy the process because it's all I've ever known, football, playing and coaching. So I'll take my wife's advice, I think.
Nice one, good on it.
Thank you. Cheers.
Add it up.
Chris, anything in here, or are you going to wait till?
No, I'll just wait for that.
Super. Leon, thanks for your patience, mate. We'll come to you.
No problem. Congratulations, Danny, from one Doncaster lad to another.
Top man. Cheers, Leon.
Good stuff. I'm from Bentley, you're from Broadsworth, aren't you? So
Yeah. Not far.
Yeah. I was just wondering, I mean, people are saying, well, you haven't got the experience, this and that, but I suppose you'll say, well, look, my predecessor never had any experience and he did a great job. That's probably what you'd say to everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think it's about the journeys you've been on. I think whether you've been an head coach previously or not, I think you're taking lots of things. If you're willing to learn and grow and develop, I don't know when are you ever ready, but no, this opportunity has landed on me, so let's go. Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, you obviously played under a lot of managers. Which people have you really took the most from in terms of influences? Because you've had some good figures in your career, haven't you?
Yeah, I think all of them. I wouldn't really want to single anybody out. I think I've always tried to learn and grow sort of in every situation I've been in. So I've had some really good managers who have and coaches who have helped me develop both as a player, person, and now as a coach.
You say about Huddersfield Town, you're saying it's your club. What's the DNA that you want from a Huddersfield Town player? I mean, you know what the punters like here and what they don't like. What's your sort of take on that? I think it's to go with the Terrier spirit, what this football club is. We've got to be hardworking. We've got to be able to fight. We've also got to have a style of play. We'll be very clear in what we want to do in possession, out of possession.
And there'll be times when we're really aggressive and pressing. There'll be times in the games when we're really structured. But yeah, the focus will be on us attacking and being aggressive.
And I suppose, you just wanted a bit of time, isn't it? Really, a fair crack from the supporters, the fair supporters here, and you know, I'm probably sure you'll get that as well.
Yeah, no, the supporters are fantastic here. Great memories as a player, and I'm sure they'll get behind me as a coach and the staff as a coaching team, and certainly the players to help drive us forward, because ultimately the fans are a massive part of what we're trying to do. So together we can hopefully work together, fans, staff, players, and take this club in the direction it wants to be.
When did you decide you wanted to be a coach then? You said you weren't sure originally. Did the sort of penny drop one day? Or?
I think I was about 28-year-old at the time, and I just jumped on a coaching course because I thought, when I retire, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I jumped on the UEFA B license, and then enjoyed the process of actually coaching players, teaching them the game, understanding of football, shouting at a few players. So yeah, it went from there really, and then just stuck with it and slowly progressed.
Yeah, because you were having, when you started at non-league, had you got some sort of other trade as well? I mean, you played non-league, did you? I mean, you probably, when you thought you weren't going to be a professional, or you weren't in the professional game, were you doing something else then?
Yeah, I was working with my uncle on the roads. He had a tarmacking business at the time. I think I'd just left school.
Yeah.
So I was doing that and then playing part-time. But always thought, like, I can play football for a living here. I had a self-belief, and fortunately enough, Huddersfield Town gave me the opportunity, and I had a half-decent career.
That's a good sort of perspective, isn't it, really? I mean, that's hard graft doing that, I would have thought, back in the day.
Yeah, I'd rather play football than do that. But I think it's interesting. It's all part of the journey, isn't it? These moments, and they probably shift your focus towards what you want to do.
But I mean, you've had a great time as a player at Huddersfield, but you've been out of your comfort zone as well. You went to Yeovil, you went to Millwall, you got your hands dirty at Bradford Park Avenue and things like that. So you've not had it all cushy, have you? Really, you've gone out and broadened your experiences that way. You've got a big experience now.
Yeah, travelled around a little bit, went down south, and then came back up north to Rotherham, I think it were. But then, played non-league. I think as you get older, I was trying to cling on to my career by my fingernails, and went and played part-time and coached part-time. So, but no, I always wanted to play as long as I could, as long as my body and my head told me I could. So, I enjoyed the non-league experience.
Yeah. Have you ever had time out of football since you sort of came into it, professionally, or have you sort of always been in it? I suppose you will have, won't you?
Yeah, always been in it. Sort of had a little bit of time on my hands when I retired professionally, so just playing part-time and coaching part-time. But never really been away from football.
And the good thing finally is you've got a strong dressing room there, haven't you? Really, you've got good players, but it was spoken about a lot last season. You've got some really good lads in there. That's gonna help you, isn't it?
No, these players as people are top. They're very united. The winners, they want to compete first and foremost, and it's a good group of lads.
Yeah. Good luck, Danny. Thank you.
Cheers, Leon. Thank you.
Matty, anything to add?
Just a couple, if that's all right. Kieran Phillips, he's obviously someone that we haven't seen much of in the Terrier shirt, but he started the other night and he's been given the number 17. What have you made of his sort of performances while you've been in the building? And does the squad number necessarily mean anything for him? Is it sort of a breakthrough season for him, do you think?
No, all the players have come back to pre-season, and we've got all the young players back from the long spells. So we're constantly discussing about the players that can come in and improve the squad and what impact they can make. And Kieran's one of those players who we're always talking about.
Yeah, is there any other youngsters in particular that have stood out for you?
Yeah, there's some really good youngsters. I think the B team are really developing a good crop of players, and they're being exposed to first team training sessions this season. Etienne Kamara, Brima Diarra, Brodie Spencer, Patrick Jones. There's a really good list of players who have got lots of potential, but at the moment that's all it is. We need to keep exposing them through the B team, exposing them to the first team, trying to help develop those players, and ultimately they've got to be good enough and show that they're good enough to get into the first team squad.
I mean, we've seen that, haven't we, through Sober Thomas just in, the past season. I mean, he's sort of a leading example, isn't he, for players to want to come to Huddersfield Town. It's an attractive proposition, isn't it?
Yeah, I think if you have a player who, like Sorba, who signs from non-league, initially goes into the B team program, then quickly develops to the first team, it's almost a role model to say that that's what the process is here. It can be done. So it's fantastic to see what Sorba's done, and John Russell the same. So I'm sure the younger players will be looking to them to say that I want to be that next player.
No, that's spot on. Cheers, thank you.
Cheers.